Okay, so this is something different. This is something that I probably haven't done in a long time. And we are all lifing right now. And I know that this channel, I've been talking more about my healing journey and stuff I've done in the past, and also giving tips on spiritual guidance and what have you. But I just want to chill right now and talk to y'all like I'm talking to my bestie. Listen, y'all, there's a lot I've been noticing that has happened, that has changed since I turned 40, since I, started healing. And I'm thinking we should discuss these things. So this segment is going to be BigMa Life-ing. It's not going to be long. I'm just going to be talking to you all about changes I have realized in myself that maybe someone else out there can relate to. Anyways, how you doing? So one thing I've noticed, and I actually discussed it recently with a friend, is that I am now demisexual. Now that's crazy because nobody actually tells you. Nobody tells you that when you heal and you actually remove all those traumatic whatevers that were affecting you growing up, your sexual preferences can change. Nah, nobody gave me that info. Nobody gave me that heads up. Nobody told me that I would change. So for me, in the past year, when it came to sexual matters, I used to be good to go in a sense. No, 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 I'm not just anybody. Hey, no, very picky. And even though I have picked rubbish before, but the picky part of me was more about there were certain things on my canal list that had to be checked off. Sense of humor, can have a conversation, because I like to banter before we do the do. And I never really cared about emotions or whatever. Really, honestly, I was the situationship queen for like most of my life. I wasn't, even when I had a boyfriend, it was more like I knew what this was. It was contractual, meaning you claim to like me or even love me, but we both know that we're just having a good time and this isn't going anywhere. It's always been that way for me, until I decided to heal my heart. And this was in 2023. I said, let me even see if the thing is still working. Let me check it out. Let me check it out. And I did. And I started to do the inner work and everything. And my preferences first started changing in what kind of guy I liked to, what I found, like a turn on. And somehow, ever since I've been celibate since 2024, almost 2 years now, it's hard to get me turned on. And I started to think something was wrong with me, or maybe my pussy was broke, because, remember that broken pussy? I thought that was it. And I was worried. I'm like, is my pussy broke? Because nobody's doing it for me. And it's not like I was actively looking. I've not been actively looking. Even every time I had been on dating sites before I decided no more for me because it's just bullshit on there. Let's be for real. If you're looking for something serious, you cannot find it on a dating site. Even though I am digressing right now, I remember someone once said that as a woman, if you're looking for a man who is, you want to do the long term with, you can't look for him on a free dating site. Because if he knows he can get you for free without investing anything, then he's not ready to invest in you. And I'm like, clock it. Because true. And that was the last time I ever went on dating sites. I was like, done. Anyways, back to finding out that I'm now demisexual. So I started to wonder that what's wrong with me, what's going on. I mean, I like to do research. I'm a nerd. It doesn't show on my face. Trust me. I know the day I also found out, I was like, oh my god, I'm actually a nerd. Oh my god. And anyway, I do not resemble your stereotypical nerd, basically, but I love to do research on things. And I was very worried. I'm like, why am I not finding the normal things it turned on? It's not because I was looking to actively do, because right now I'm celibate until celibate is celibating me. Like, I'm not even in a hurry to uncelibate. But I still like to know that, I can get turned on and I can look at a fine shit and go like, that's a fine shit. No. But nothing was working. Nobody find me nada in over a year. And I'm like, something's not going right here. And I also noticed that when I start talking to men, the minute they start talking and certain topics come up and I can literally gauge their intellect, yeah, that conversation is over. It's not going anywhere. I started to realize that I needed a man that can turn me on emotionally, mentally, spiritually, before it can get me physically. Literally. Before I was sapiosexual, everybody say, oh, sapiophile, I have to connect to the mind. I just need to connect to the mind so that I could knock. But now, I need the full balance to be able to even be turned on. I'm now like, what can this be? Because this is not hetero, this is not sapio. So I said to research, and I'm like, oh, I'm demisexual because being demisexual means you can only connect after an emotional connection has been, achieved. And I'm like, oh, that's why. That's why. And I'm like, this is new to me. How did I go from Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, always ready to, yeah, you gotta rev this engine like 1,000 times before you can get me there. I don't mind the switch, if I'm being honest. I don't. It's a slower pace, yes. It means that I can weed out you know, the players, the love bombers, the gaslighters, the manipulators, because I'm not in a hurry to get to where I'm going. And I'm actually not in a hurry to get to anywhere because I want a situation whereby when I eventually connect with someone, hmm, it go to make sense. You understand? Like it's gonna make so much sense that I'll be glad I waited. And currently, with the state of the economy and everything that is going on, I'm falling in love right now. You got to look at your bank accounts because you're like, one, I'm not trying to be a liability to nobody, and I ain't trying to be a sugar mama to no nada. So it's a thing whereby, and because I've said it on this channel so many times, my preference is always younger guys. I don't know. It's just there's something about a man that is younger than me that gets me. The older men, the millennials, the older millennials, let's be for real. Something just ain't lining up mentally, even spiritually. And I ain't about to start teaching or mothering anyone. I'm not even trying to be a mother in real life. So like, like you do the work, I do the work. We come together and we can work it out. But yeah, I'm demisexual. It is what it is, and I'm still trying to get used to this new part of me because apparently, when you heal your heart and your childhood traumas, and you heal the patterns that you were used to in you know intimate relationships, it brings out a different side of you. I don't know if there's anyone out there else that can relate. Maybe your sexual preference was one way and now it's a different way. Now, I actually thought that if anything was going to change preference wise, I'll finally be queer. Like finally the gods have graced me with lesbian genes and I can love a woman. Well, they still said no. So I guess I'm stuck with loving men. It is what it is. I didn't choose this body apparently, but this body chose me, so it's all good. It's all good. I'm not upset. I'm not upset. Besides, I do love me, yummy man. Mm, mm. I digress. Oh God, Big Man, I digress. This is Big My Life-ing. This is my life right now. I'm gonna be talking about different things that I am realizing in my day to day. This Big My Life-ing is not here to give you advice. No, no, no. It's me hanging out with my besties. So if you want to have a little peek into my life, because I know I don't be really talking about shit about me, but there's still some things I can put out there, and this is also like what's it called, a digital memoir, because I have a feeling that the older I get, my memory go bad. My memory might be shitty the older I get. So when I'm like 18, 90, and I'm going back on my maybe pound pad because very soon our hand will be the internet, I'll be able to watch the videos and go like, oh, it was so funny, shit like that. So, anyways, I don't know how often I'm gonna do this, but I kind of enjoy it. So you're gonna see a very real, very authentic side of me. Nothing scripted. Literally, I didn't think before I started speaking. So if I said anything that didn't make much sense, deal with it. Big my life in out. Guano. Bye.